answer to. I just want the truth. I just want the truth, people. That's all I want. I just want the truth. King, what you doing? Out for a walk? Yeah, I'm out for this walk this morning, King. Out for this walk this morning. People, here's the thing. There are so many opportunities for us to achieve goals, for us to get clarity, for us to focus on ourselves, our calling, our life, our goals, our personal desires, our growth, and our future. So many opportunities. And along that process, along that journey, we often stop to ask questions because we want to have a better understanding of what it is we're doing, questions we're asking, where we're going. And so we stop to ask questions. We take a moment to seek clarity. But what you're going to do with it when you get it, when that clarity comes, how are you going to implement it? How are you going to use it? Are you going to continue? Are you going to have the answer and continue to ignore it? Are you going to have the research and the data and continue to ignore it? Are you going to see the truth and continue to excuse it? Or are you going to take it for what it is and make a decision and then take ownership of what your decision is? People can sell us a lie because we keep buying it. You can buy the lie, buy it, but know it's a lie. You ever seen an infomercial on television and you're like, man, I know that thing is crap. Either better yet, you go to shop online and they show you these toys. They show you these toys and you're like, oh, that's great. I can get that for my children to play it, and that's not that expensive. We're gonna save a lot of money getting that. And then you get it, and that thing is this big. You're like, this is 37 miniature ponies. I can't give this to my children. But you still buy it. You go back the next birthday and you get another one. You were like, I get it. That one sucked, but that one was on me. Michael, I'm okay, bro. Yeah, man, thank you for being here. Normally I go to bed about 9 o'clock, between 8 and 9 to get up at this time. You haven't slept in how long? You said that like you've never slept, like you've never had you need some sleep. So how long do we continue to walk along a path or to travel a path or to be on a course of life where it's clear to us that the things that we're seeing, the things that are being shared with us are not true? Yet, we continue to follow it. We know we're being lied to. Here's the thing. Once you accept the truth of what it is, live with that. It's okay to buy those toys. Just understand you know how big they are now. We get it. You bought something, it wasn't what you thought it was, but now you know exactly what it is. Are you gonna buy another one? Of course you can, but you no longer have the excuse of, I didn't know it was gonna be this way. right? Welcome in, Rich. Good morning, good sir. Or good late afternoon in Australia. Striker, welcome in as well. Thank you for being here. As soon as we realize a wrong, an untruth, or outright lie, bounce. Good morning, Striker. King, good luck. I'll sleep now. Hope you have a great day. I hope you have a good night's sleep, or good evening, good afternoon, whatever type of sleep it is you're trying to get, King. Enjoy that. I want you to awake refreshed. Thank you for being here. Right, you would think the course is you've identified a lie, let's bounce, right? You identified it's not true, let's bounce. But for some reason, and I tell you what, I don't know why, I don't understand this human, we've talked about emotions before, but there's this human ability to be able to be shown the truth and to be like, nah, yeah, I don't care. Dude, I don't understand it. And I'm not saying this like I've only seen other people do it. I've done it. Like MSG. Does anybody remember MSG? I don't know. I keep showing people how old I am. MSG is this almost, well, I want to say it's addictive. It's this substance that in the United States, all your Asian, Korean, your Chinese, all of your carryouts used to put in their food. And it's delicious. It's salt on steroids, but you don't taste it. It just tells you that, hey, you're hungry again. It's absolutely phenomenal. The food tastes delicious, but if you ever had Chinese carryout and you were finished and like 30 minutes later you were like, man, I could eat another 4 pounds of that. That's that MSG kicking in. So studies of it has shown it doesn't have any like negative side effects outside making you rotund, outside getting you back in there, but it's in the food. They were like, man, that food got that MSG in it. And I was like, listen, I don't know what it stands for, but give me some more. Let me get some, so good. That's what MSG stands for. Listen, so I'm not just talking about other people, I'm talking about in general. We have this ability as human beings to understand what's happening, but also be willing to set aside our long-term future or the truth that we see for the thing that we want to get out of it. Let me go back up. You guys have been sharing for a bit. Blessed. Good morning, Blessed. How you doing, yo, bro? What you know? Plenty as usual, sure blessings. But Minneapolis, thank you for checking in. Monosodium glutamate, that's what it's called? It gives that umami flavor. Absolutely, thank you very much for helping me understand that, Rich. Stryker says moral code calls for it. And this is why there's so much continual decrease. We allow a straight out wrong because it's not nothing. Something is always better than none. Right. I'm on here today. I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail. I don't know how you found this. I don't know if you found it in the stream. But I'm on here today is because as a part of my growth and development, I have financial goals. I have a future, and I'm looking to build a legacy. And with the advent of the internet, AI, all of this technology that's coming into the world, it's harder and harder for people to hide things. It's more and more difficult for the super rich, the wealthy, to hide how they got wealthy or what they did to get wealthy or the things that they're doing in their future. And it's very difficult for charlatans to just pull the wool over your eyes unless you just accept it for what it is. So And part of developing my financial strategy for my family, one of my big things is I've gone to legacy planning. I've gone away from, hey, how can I just be comfortable? And that's the thing is, this is a we versus, I don't do this a lot, but this is a us versus them thing today. There are a lot of people who are living a lifestyle designed for their family to benefit and grow, and then they're selling you a lifestyle that's not designed for you to reach the same goals. I don't know if it's because there's a fear that there's not enough room at the top. I don't know if it's because they just outright don't want us to, but there are a lot of people who are living their life in a way where it's designed to grow their life and reduce yours. So today I want to talk about Dave Ramsey. I don't call people out. I don't make a habit of saying, hey, listen, for those of you who have been on here for a while, I don't call out Donald Trump. I don't say, hey, Donald Trump is doing this or doing that. I don't get into the political thing. But this is landing right in my court, and the reason it's in my court is because I want to do legacy planning for my family, for myself, to ensure I'm not just dying and leaving something that the United States is going to take half of. So what does this mean? Well, I have to approach my life with discipline. I have to understand my principle and my purpose, what I'm working towards. I have to convey that vision to my family. And I have to be motivated in order to work towards it and look to achieve it, in order to build on that. I have to. Rich says, I've been listening to Confessionals podcast. Take these tip topics to metaphysical level, full on stuff. The Red Dragon under London Bridge, etc. Okay. I don't know if I've been listening to that one. We're gonna have to chat a little bit more about that one, Rich. I'm not sure of the exact context, but I am sure that in looking up Dave Ramsey, he's telling me to die broke. He literally is giving out advice. I've heard him give out advice to people who have an expectation of another 10 to 15 years on this planet. No debt. Heard him tell this woman who just about owned a $250,000 house free and clear, living in Oklahoma, still working and drawing Social Security, household bringing in about $4,000 a month. I heard he tell this woman, sell your house, buy a condo, and just live off of that and hope you can make it to the end. That should get you to the end. What? What are you talking about? Listen, I don't care if you don't have children. I don't care if you don't have anybody behind you. I don't care if you don't have freaking cousins, aunts, uncles, anybody. That is bad financial advice. I'm listening to Dave Ramsey, and I spent some time really listening to him. And Dave Ramsey's advice is die broke and be happy. Listen, just go ahead and die. Never accumulate debt. Only buy what you can afford to buy with the money you make. Exchange your time for money. Buy into all of these things that are really just glorified savings accounts. Tap into those savings accounts when you're ready to stop working. Never go do anything outside of what you've ever done, because these savings accounts are not designed for you to tap into them and then move away and start enjoying a more luxurious life. It's not designed for you to have new experiences and to go to do things that you've never done before. These investments are designed for you to just make it to the end. You're not dead yet. You better die soon. You're going to run out of money. What type of way is that to advise people? This is what we're looking at, people. When we talk about 401ks, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't get a 401k. I'm not saying don't get an IRA. This man has a privately held company. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's passing this company on to his children. They're going to have hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's telling you, die broke. Listen, die and hurry up, because you only made so much money in your life. But because you have no debt, you could just die broke. It doesn't make sense, because you can't build that way. Don't build anything. Don't worry about the next generation. Don't worry about trying to do something. And so he has this personal view on things that the business can't support. Businesses don't grow unless they leverage. And leverage is just another word for business debt. They can't do it. They have to. It makes sense to. Leverage is just, this is value that I already have that's not associated with my physical, with physical labor. I have this set aside, but versus me getting rid of it and getting the tax on that, or the interest, the high-end interest on it, I have it already. I can secure the use of these funds. Let me use these funds to grow. Dave Ramsey's idea for people is, hey, you're gonna die someday. Just hope you can make it to it. That's his whole philosophy. That's everything they teach. Just hope you can make it. He says, don't buy securities. Only invest in mutual funds. Only invest in things that other people have invested in. And guess what they're doing? They're using your money to buy more stocks. That's what a mutual fund is. He's telling you, don't go out and buy the same stocks that the mutual fund is buying. Don't do that. Just invest in the mutual fund. Make them rich. Make them rich. You just need to die before it's too late. When I talk about the advice that we receive from people and how they advise us and then how they live, it doesn't correlate. You're giving me advice on how to die broke, and you are building a legacy. You are having conversations about saving money while I'm watching your family go on trips, own houses, own yachts, land. I get it. You're building it off your business, but your business is telling me to die broke. Your business is telling me just don't leave debt for your children. It doesn't have anything, there is nothing that he suggests that is about building wealth beyond your death. It's about just don't leave debt for your children. Die broke. And hurry up, because I don't know how much money you made, but it may not make it to your 80. So when you hit 78, start dying, because you're running out of money. This is a problem. This is a problem because so many people will sit in front of us and they will tell us, you need to do this thing and you need to do it this way in order for you to get somewhere. It's not just in finances. It's just Dave Ramsey has, I looked him up because I'm like, listen, I've heard people talk about him. He's been around for years, and I want to see if his philosophy aligns with mine, and I can use it to be able to grow my life, my legacy, my family's life. It's important to make sure we're seeking out knowledge. It's how we grow. It's how we learn. We have to ask questions. But you have to be careful when you ask questions, because if you ask too many questions, you're going to start getting some answers that you got to deal with. And then you have to start understanding, how am I dealing with this? I've never met Dave Ramsey. He's probably doing the right, not probably, he's doing the right thing for his family. He's leaving a legacy. But the legacy is built on the back of us dying broke. Die before your money runs out. That's your best thing you can do. Work for 65 years, even though there are opportunities for you to move money around, invest it, use other people's money to help make it grow, leverage it, make it bigger and bigger, have it grow even after you retire. All of these things are available to you. Don't take no risk. Don't take no risk, because me starting this business and speaking to people, that was a risk. But don't you do that. Don't you take no risk, because you're gonna die broke. That's the qualm, that's the problem that I have. As I went out looking for the information, and then I found it. And then it dawned on me, this man has made hundreds of millions of dollars. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars for telling people for years, you need to die broke. Die before your money runs out. That's the best way for you to make sure that you're happy and you're in a good place. Eventually, you're gonna run out of money. You have a savings account, you have a home you bought that you could sell for later, even though it's worth $250,000. With the loan that you used to buy it, it cost you $700,000 to pay for it over the last 30 years. But at least now you can get $250,000 of that back. You put a loan on it freaking 30 years ago, and you bought this house for $50,000. Now it's worth $250,000. You paid $600,000 for it. You paid the loan 4 or 5 times. Now you get it back. Use some of it to buy a little condo and go die. Listen, die fast. Because your money's gonna go, it's gonna run out. Die fast. RKS, did somebody say mutual? I did say mutual. Silver says it's because of what's expected to come. MB, why is the government even allowed to take half your stuff when you die? Because you ain't there to fight it. And why would you? Like, you're gonna die. So what do you have to do? If you wanna fight them taking half of your money when you die, put it in a business. Put it in a structure that grows and will continue to grow after you die. Because their whole thing is, you just cashed in, you just cashed out. We gotta get our taxes. It's the same way in anything when you cash out with the government. You cash out your stocks, you start using them, that's cool. We just gotta get our cut. You wanna cash out? You wanna sell your stocks? Bet. We just wanna get our cut. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with your paycheck. Oh, you cashed out, it's the end of the week, you got your money, cool. We just wanna get our cut. Just give us our cut, we cool with that. Anything you cash out, the government's like, wait man, we cool with that. Just give us our cut. Oh, you died. Oh, you done. You cashing out the game? Let us get our cut. Oh, you passing this on to your children? Hey kids, y'all aren't dead, y'all still here, y'all plan on using it, let us get our cut of yours too. Who is Dave Ramsey? Why does he give such bad advice? Look him up, Rich, he's not hard to find. He gives bad advice because people do not know how to manage their money, and he gives them the simple answer. Live below your means. And then he started attaching other things to it. He wrote a book called Baby Steps, and then had to revisit the book because he was like, this is stupid. I can't believe I sold this book to so many people for principles that are not scalable and do not go into the future. They don't build anything. So he found out that the book that he wrote, because what he wrote about was getting out of debt, paying off credit cards, and living within your means, which is what you're supposed to do. But then once you live within your means, you have to invest. You have to build. And he never suggests he will not. He says, no, I could tell people how to strategically, once they're living within their means and they're moving money over into retirement accounts, I could tell them how they could tap into those retirement accounts and start building portfolios that can go beyond them. He says, don't get a trust unless you're worth more than $1 million. So who is this advice for? Who is this advice for? It's for people who you're not. You're not giving out advice about growth. You're not giving out advice about becoming stronger or becoming wealthier. You're giving out advice about how to get to the end of life. He says, don't make a trust unless you're worth over $1 million. So if you do not have conversations about trust because you believe it's for people who are valued at $1 million or more, you're only talking to people who you believe are worth less than $1 million. This may be why you've never heard of them, Rich, because it doesn't work as a way of growth for anyone. It's designed to just die before your money runs out. This is what it said. St. East says, I'm broke. Okay. He says, I have sciatic nerve pain and a hernia. My mom has diabetes, pulmonary disease, on oxygen. Is that lymphedema and overweight? I need help. You do, Saint. I'm not sure what type of help you need, man. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot going on there. I would try to speak to somebody in person and start developing a plan. Lex, welcome back, because you can't fight it. That's real. David said, damn. Hello, Lex. How are you doing? Good to see you from Nepal, Lex. I see you, brother. I'm sorry it took so long for me to respond. You don't have to spam at chat anymore. People, this is why this is important. This is why we want to make sure we're understanding what we're talking about, what we're looking at, and what we're going for. If you're in here, guys, if you haven't had an opportunity yet, if you haven't had an opportunity to hit the thumbs up, you like anything you heard, anything you read, anything you've experienced, please take a moment, just hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. So I'm learning, I'm asking questions, I'm looking directly at what I'm seeing from Fable. Good morning. Give me just a moment. So I'm looking at everything that I am learning and seeing from Dave Ramsey, and I'm like, okay, I get it, you need the budget. That's true. That's an easy sell because so many people just don't. So many people just get their money and they're like, hey, this is me, party time. I got my check. They got a song that came out many years ago. I can't remember who made it, but the song starts with, just got paid, Friday night, party's jumping, feeling all right. I think those are the words to the song, right? And it's basically saying it's Friday, you got paid. Hey man, what you gonna do? You just gotta make it to Monday. It is. I used to jam to that song, King. I used to hit, man, listen. Here's how I grew up. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so when I got a paycheck, I went to the bank, I cashed the whole thing. I got a $100 bill, couple of 50s, and everything else in ones. And I had a knot, put that thing in my pocket, this maybe $500, maybe. Whole bunch of ones, singles and fives in there. But in my pocket, that thing was thick. I'm like, yo, got the rubber band wrapped around it. Y'all know I'm doing, yeah. No, I was fake. I was faking. Listen, I was selling the life I wasn't living. Don't. I was Dave Ramsey in it. I was out there selling the life I wasn't living. But here's the thing, guys. Here's what I'm trying to say. Is that in order for us to start to really learn In order for us to really grow, we have to ask questions. Top Gun, good morning. How you doing? Fable, thank you for being here. Man, so what I'm saying is, I'm going through this process of learning. Good morning, good morning. It is a good morning, Fable. And I'm starting to look at this information and I'm like, dude, like I have to be careful. And we have to be careful because people will sell us stuff. This is a lesson I learned a while ago. And here's a lesson that we all need to know. And this is why I believe colleges are a bit of a scam. I get it, like learning is important, but colleges are a bit of a scam. Don't you ever get a job where you have to pay to start. That's not a job, people. That's a scam. I used to do house flipping. And they had all of these companies that said, hey, I can help you learn how to flip a house. We have a program for only $250. We can send you a book to teach you how to house flip. And then they send you this workbook, and it's these stories about their first deal, how they found it. You know, it's really an advertisement. It's an advertisement. It's a CD that tells you about different websites that you could go to, different things in different areas. But it's really telling you, hey, even once you get into this process, there's more to it. There's going to be more you're going to have to do. And it's going to cost you more. Serving a Redeemer 3 days later, can't wait for payday. Exactly. After I went to that club. Boost, welcome in, Boost. Good morning from the West. Good morning on the West Coast. 3:30 in the morning, man. Welcome in. So, let me see what we have. MB, same. First time I made 1,000, I cashed it out, went straight to Saks Fifth. Exactly. Look, and walking around Saks Fifth, like, yo, like y'all better respect me. I got a G up in here. You know, and then you looked at a suit and that joint was 5 Gs. You were like, all right, I'm going back to the mall. I'm going back to the mall, MB. So what I'm saying, I'm trying to stay on focus with you guys. You guys are too funny. He said, I got $1,000, went down to Saks Fifth, cashed that whole thing out. Like, yo, I'm in Saks Fifth. Let's make this happen. How much is this cologne? Hey, $345. You like, yo, that is a lot. That bottle is this. How many times am I going to be able to use this? And listen, slide my little check back in my pocket. Hold on to my little bit of money, man. So Abel said, I used to know a guy who'd go to the club and buy expensive bottles just to look like the man, but we all knew he was broke. Yeah, he was broke. And B said, felt like the man for 15 minutes. Not long. Yeah, you don't feel like the man for long. You don't feel like the man for long. But what you do, you told that story to your friends. You're like, I can extend this. You know, you're like, man, you ain't never been no Saks. You don't know nothing about no Saks. Them ain't real Gucci's. You don't know nothing about that. I've been there. I know what's up. I lived it. You're like, dude, if you don't relax. So I've been there. I've been on what we call Front Street, not having it and acting like it. And I believe that's what they sell to. Do you want to feel like you're doing well? Do you want to feel like you're making a difference? Do you want to feel like you're growing? Do you want to feel like you're taking steps? And when they would sell us these seminars, and I was working with one gentleman, and when I started working with him, he explained that he had saved up $40,000 to start doing house flipping. And him and his wife agreed that he would go to the seminar, He would get the information, he would come back home, and he would sit down and share it with his wife. And so he spent, I think he said 15 to 2,500 to travel to some seminar for like 3 or 4 days. Came home. Before he left, they told him about another program that he could get to for like $5,000 to $7,000 that could give him extended support. And then they told him about another program, and they kept selling him things. He had $40,000 to start. He got down to the point where they told him, hey, you can get this for a certain amount of money. And he just asked the person he was talking to, he was like, I had $40,000 to invest into a house to flip, to start my first flip. If I buy this program for you, I have no money left. I'm gonna have all of this information and access, but I'll no longer have money to get the house. And the person was like, oh, we could get you money. He was like, I don't need you to get me the money. I need you to give me this program for free. I had the money. And they stopped talking to him, stopped calling him, stopped engaging with him, because they got what they wanted out of him, which was his money. So when you look at someone who says, I made my fortune off of real estate, and then you start asking questions, and you can see that they started making their money off of real estate, and they're now making their money off of selling the program. You're not living what you're preaching to me. You're not living what you're saying. If you're making your money off of real estate, once you get into it, I don't know how many people in here have been into it. The hardest thing to find in real estate is the deal. There's so much freaking money out there. People are sitting on money they don't know what to do with. There's money everywhere. If someone tells you, give me $1,500 and I'm gonna teach you how to make millions, I'm good. I'm good. Because it's not about teaching. It's not about paying for the course. Most of this stuff is common sense. It's about investing. If you don't understand the investment structure and how it works, take that $1,500 and put it into a deal. Find a guy who's doing house flipping. Find a guy or a girl or a woman who's doing real estate. Whatever it is that you're looking to do, find them and be like, look, I want to invest in you. You're a personal trainer? Bet. How much you make? I want to invest in you. I want to invest in your skill, your talent, your knowledge. Grant freaking Cardone, man. Grant Cardone will bleed you dry. Grant Cardone will sell you. Grant Cardone says, listen, I appreciate all you guys for coming. It's freaking 10,000 of you here. I cut a deal with the conference center. So since 10,000 of you guys came, for every room that I help rent out up under my program, I get a kickback off of that. I get a kickback off the tickets. I'm selling you t-shirts, a video of the same thing I just said. Look at my daughter. How awesome is that? That's worth the admission alone. My daughter's up here talking to you. Grant Cardone, you made $100 million this year. How many properties did you acquire in real estate? Oh man, I just made 2. I made one really big purchase because I made so much money I needed to hide it. I needed to hide my money. He tells this story where he made so much money at the end of Trump's first term, he found out that he had $30 million in profit. And they were about to tax it, and he needed to find something to do with it. And Trump added to the tax code anything over 6 tons, I believe, or 4, whatever it was, anything over like 6,000, 8,000 pounds, you could buy it, write it off in that tax year, the whole thing 100%, and then the following tax year transfer it to private use. That Bama went and brought an airplane that he was not going to get. He went and wrote a $10 million check to get access to a used $30 million airplane that he didn't want so that he could hide his money. That's what he did. You're not getting rich off of real estate. You're getting rich off of selling people a dream. We have to be wary of what we're hearing from. Then, if you want to be a part of something that's growing your investment, if you have $2,500, invest it. Don't pay somebody $2,500 to tell you how to invest it. Invest it. We have to change how we're approaching things. People are telling us to die. Die broke. Keep doing what you're doing. Just die broke. Sometimes people just don't care. Sometimes it's a flat out lie. Sometimes people don't know that they're misleading you. Sometimes people have a philosophy and they find out that it works for a lot of people, so they keep selling that. Dave Ramsey's philosophy is specifically designed to escape the culture of America. America's culture is get a good credit score, borrow money, live off of that, and then die. We'll work it out in the end. We'll figure something out. Where the way to truly live, the way to truly grow, the way to truly be profitable is to invest. You invest your energy, your time, and your money in the things that grow. You invest into your relationships with your energy and your time. You invest in your future with your money. Pay your money back to yourself. That's the structure that we have to use. That's the way we have to build it. That's the way we have to build something that can carry on. You want to avoid taxes? Guess what the United States will allow for you to do and not have to pay taxes? Invest your money. If you're investing money in a business, and here's the big thing. Whew. Let me catch my breath. It won't come. Here's the big thing, guys. As individuals here in the United States, I don't know the tax code around the world, but as individuals here in the United States, you can do stuff with a business that you cannot do with yourself personally, that seems illegal. It flat out looks like, well, why can't I do it this way? Simple things like your house is a liability to you. If you're buying a house in the United States, it's a liability to you. And current tax code, you pay about 3 times the value of the loan to have the loan. A $500,000 house with $100,000 put down on it, you have to pay $1.2 million over the life of that loan for that house. I'm borrowing $400,000 and I have to pay $800,000 to use it? Oh, don't worry about it. You'll get it back out the house. Doesn't make sense. And this is a 30-year mortgage. God knows how long you had to save to get the $100,000 down. Oh, here's the kicker, people. Your mortgage on a $400,000 loan over the next 30 years is about $3,600, close to $4,000. That $4,000 is supposed to be a third of your income, which means you need to make $12,000 a month in order to make $4,000, in order to make a $4,000 housing payment. Based on the rough qualifications, the rough math. So you're supposed to be making $120,000 a month. That puts you somewhere around $150,000 a year. You need to make $150,000 a year to buy a $500,000 home. You need to make $150,000 a year. They're not just giving those jobs out. And I live in a community where $500,000 is the buy-in. Do you understand how we are being tricked into dying broke? Well, don't worry about it. You can get the money back out the house later. You can leverage that property to send your kids to school. You know what you can do with a business? With a business, if a business owns that house, it's worth more than the $500,000 you're paying for it. First thing is, whatever that amount is that you're paying for that house with your business, a bank is going to look at it and like, oh, this is owned by a business. This is an ongoing business. It's going to continue to draw rental income. So it's worth more than it says on the book. It has future value. So even if you want to leverage it, you can now leverage it at a higher price point. You're not just leveraging it at 80% of what equity you have. You're leveraging it at the value of the property in the future to the business, which allows for you to invest more. Flipping burgers at Mickey D's, you can start there. That's the problem, is we've been taught that we have to wait until we can afford to invest. We don't. We just have to have our priorities right, and we have to put the money away. We've been given this moral code by the rich. This is what I mean about somebody selling you something that they don't live by, right? The moral code of the rich, right? Max Gaines. RKS says Max Gaines is a team here in Hawaii doing real estate scheme you just described. Exactly. They take all of your money for them to teach you something that you'll never be able to do. Don Arrington, peace. How are you doing, Don Arrington? Hey guys, take a second. If you haven't had a chance to do the survey, go ahead and hit the survey, answer that. I appreciate it. Also, if you've seen or heard anything that you like or enjoyed, go ahead and drop a thumbs up. I'd like to see that as well. It means a lot. So what are we looking at, guys? What are we going through in this whole process? So I was about to share that we've been sold a moral code by the rich that the rich don't live by. The rich don't live by this moral code. This same moral code of don't get debt. Don't acquire debt. They do it all the time. It's how they get rich. We use debt to buy cars and clothes and to buy TVs, to buy tickets and jerseys. That's what we do. They use debt to invest in car companies and clothes companies and sporting teams. They invest in these businesses, and then they get the return from it. And the benefit of being invested in it is that every time they go see it, they're paying themselves. They invest in real estate. You buy the house. The one thing Grant Cardone said, and I dismissed it at first, but then it took me a second to do some more research and learn about it, is Grant Cardone said, I will never own another home. I will never own another home. He says, if I buy a piece of real estate, it's for my business. I will rent where I live. And I couldn't understand it until, because the part that he didn't share is my business will buy it and I'll rent it from myself. So every time I pay rent, I'm paying myself. It doesn't make sense for me to personally own the home. It doesn't make sense for us to personally own property because it's 30 years before we can do anything with it. You have to start small and grow. And there are ways for you to start investing money from the beginning instead of saving it. If you want to invest, we use the stock market. You buy stocks in companies that you know aren't going anywhere. Johnson & Johnson's not going anywhere. Petroleum companies, not going anywhere. Not in your lifetime. You invest in companies that make things that aren't going anywhere. And you keep investing and you keep investing and you keep putting money in it. And as it grows, then people are like, hey, you got $3,000 in here. Would you like to use some of our money to get more? Of course I would. Here's another $3,000. I'm gonna use half of that because they're gonna charge you a little interest to use it. Now you go from $3,000 in stock to $4,500. And every time you put $100 in there, you basically get $50 more to go with it. You are exponentially growing with compound interest. This is how you invest and grow. And then you leverage, because how long is it going to take you to save up to put down a down payment on any house you want to buy? I don't care your income level. If you need to save 10 to 20%, I don't care if you're looking to get a $90,000 house. You need to save up $18,000 in order for you to be able to get a loan with no PMI. For a 20% down payment, you need to save up $18,000. So what job are you working where you're looking to save up $18,000? If that's well below your means and you can get that $18,000 in just a couple of months or in a few months, then you want to significantly accelerate your process and start looking at, how am I going to buy 2 properties at $150,000? Because I'm going to start a business and I'm going to leverage. This is there is a process for this thing to grow exponentially, and we're being lied to. We're being told on a regular basis, it's okay. A home is the biggest purchase you're ever going to make. Shut up. It's not the biggest purchase I'm ever going to make. I have children. My children are going to have children. You want me to invest in mutual funds that are owned by companies who are building legacies for their family, and they're never taking their money out, ever. They made this investment 5 generations ago. The money's never come out. And they're buying up properties, they're buying up land, they're buying up stock. And they live off of the money their money makes. I may not be there today, but there's a day coming. I'm starting the process. My grandchildren will not have to deal with what I dealt with. My great-grandchildren are going to have a whole other series of concerns to deal with that won't have anything to do with the concerns I had to deal with. And it starts by going out and setting it up for ourselves. Serving the Redeemer said, index funds. Do I have any insecurities? Don't know what that means. That's completely separate from this conversation. Were you trying to ask, do I have any securities? Do I have any investment securities? Yes, I'm invested. And I'm working on moving everything in my life because I've found out the key to it. Everything in my life is being put into an LLC. The LLC will live it, will own it. I will live my life as a business, and I will draw the results therefrom. Everything is about reducing the amount of work that you have to do in order for you to live the life you want to live. Because time is limited. It's limited time that we have. And so we have to make the most of it. And we can't make the most of our time if we're spending all of it working for someone else. I appreciate you guys being here. Guys, if you haven't dropped the thumbs up yet, please drop a thumbs up. I'd really like it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just a great way to show that you've been here for a moment. And so how do we continue to grow? How do we continue to learn? How do we make sure we're not being sold something by someone who doesn't want to live the life? Someone who doesn't want, thank you very much, Top Gun. Someone who's telling us something but living differently. We have to ask questions, and then we have to be able to live with the answers that we receive, guys. We have to be able to understand when we receive these answers that we have to be able to decipher the truth, and then we have to work with that. Stop working with and accepting falsehoods because they're comfortable. Serving the Redeemer says Bill Gates owns a big part of the U.S. farmland, about 60%. I'll have to look it up to be sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if you invest in Vanguard and or BlackRock. Isn't that investing in the very system that keeps the poor poor? There you go. Vanguard and BlackRock, they're gobbling up. They're making things more expensive. These things called REITs, the real estate investment trusts, they came about because when the bubble collapsed and everyone's like, what are we going to do? These companies said, we're too big to fail. And so they said, we're going to bail you out. But at the exact same time, here's what I'm trying to tell you. For years, these financial institutions followed procedures that they knew were going to collapse. They knew this is not sustainable. And they had records. We've seen the testimony where they told them repeatedly, we cannot keep doing this. It is going to collapse and we cannot afford it. People are going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their savings. They're going to lose what they've worked their entire life for. And they were like, don't worry about it, we'll deal with it later. And during that time, the CEOs and the heads of these companies received record-breaking bonuses because they knew it couldn't last. Here is your $50 million bonus. Here is your $120 million bonus, record-breaking bonuses. And then the way that they do it so that they don't have to pay for it is they give it to them as stocks or as stock options so that they can trade them, never get rid of them, turn them into different stocks, and don't lose a dime. This is important. It's important because if we don't do the research to figure out that we're being told something, we're being sold something that the people who are selling it to us don't live by, then we're going to continue to find ourselves in a challenged position. And we have to improve on it, guys. We have to do better. It's on us to do better. It's on us to learn more, to expect more, and to do more. It's a challenge for me because I used to scream into the void, right? I used to just yell, what's going on? Why can't anyone see this? I can't be the only one. Yes, sir, Boost. It's important, however, to understand that we're not the only one. It's important, however, to understand that we have work to be done and there are others just like us out there doing the same work. It requires an investment. Some in the chat said that invest in index funds, BlackRock, but the comment disappeared. So in order to truly fight the process, right? Because like I said, I had to ask a lot of questions. I'm going to have to go research more about BlackRock. I'm going to have to go find out more. But the thing that's important is if we have that knowledge, share it. That's why we're here, Rich, to share that knowledge so that we know. You invest in Vanguard and or BlackRock, isn't the investing in the very system that keeps the poor poor? Rich said a bunch of comments disappeared. It's weird. Boost Father, that's the comment. Right, okay, so here's the thing. If you invest in BlackRock or you invest in Vanguard and that's the system of what they do, don't invest in those mutual funds. Invest in the specific securities. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Investing is the easiest way to grow your money. And I don't care what you invest in. There's going to be something that you're going to invest in that is going to, you dig deep enough, you're going to find something that's going to make you say, man, trust me, it doesn't matter. Everything out there, because we've been instilled with this moral code that says, do what I say, don't do as I do. Pay all of your bills. Make sure you pay them on time. I write all of my debt off. I can't personally get to the end of the year and say, hey, look, government, hey, here's what I did. I made $85,000 this year. I brought home $60,000 because you guys took $25,000 for taxes. But I lived on a $100,000 budget. I'm $40,000 in the red, right? All of it's in credit card debt. Here's what I need you to do for me real quick, government, just because this is what the businesses are doing. This is what the people who are $40 million in debt are doing. I need you to just write that off, understand that I didn't make money, and then not have me pay taxes because I'm in debt. Let me move that debt to the future so that I can reorganize it, and then I can use that same debt to get something else. Just keep giving me money. That's what the super wealthy do. That's what the rich do. That's what businesses allow for you to do. They allow for you to structure that loss or that debt in a way so that it doesn't ride on your back for the rest of your life. Because you got a $2,500 credit card when you were 25, when you went into Saks Fifth Avenue because you never had bad credit. Those are the things that allow for companies and businesses to grow that aren't available to individuals. This is why we have to start to manage our lives like businesses. The one and only, sup one and only. Good morning, man. Any tips for somebody who just get green card? Yes, if you just got your green card, depending on the way you got your green card, whether or not it was from time here or you just went through the asylum process, go out and start investing money. Also, look for grants and loans, grants that are available for you to be able to pretty much start anything of your choosing. So green card basically means you're just now having access to the opportunities that many of us have had access to our entire lives, and we want to help you get started. So go out and get a hold of those grants. Find someone that can help you write that grant. Focus on earning and saving. Put your money in index funds. Don't allow yourself to be oppressed by debt and trying to be flashy. Don't buy stuff you can't afford. Have the cash before you buy toys. This is ZZ, save 20%. All of that's wrong, ZZ. Hey, listen, ZZ, that's Dave Ramsey talking. All of that's wrong. Don't do that. Saving is for the purpose of spending. All you're doing when you're saving is you're moving your money into the future to spend it. Mutual funds are for the purposes of being able to come back from those funds and use them to die off of. That's all you're doing with mutual funds. That's not the same as investing. If you want to invest, develop an individual stock portfolio. Laugh out loud. Well, one of us is a millionaire, but thanks. Yes, the one of us, this is a millionaire, and if that's you, I'm in the same place. But I understand that what you're talking about doing is having money to die with, and then leaving some to your family in a trust because, well, my family needs to have my money when you leave. Your family needs to have an entity that continues to grow when you leave. You don't invest in mutual funds. Anything you invest in through a business. So let's answer some questions, ZZ. Are you using a business to invest, or are you using your personal name? Because if you're using a business to invest, it doesn't matter. I didn't buy my Porsche until I was 38. It's dying. It's not, it's who gives a, listen, guys, you know I don't do this much, but me and ZZ about to have at it. Bullshit. It doesn't matter. Nobody give a fuck. You just said don't be flashy, and now you're in the chat talking about a Porsche. I don't do this. I don't have these type of discussions because it's clear that you're lying. And the reason we know you're lying is because if you were doing it correctly, you would have a business. Any millionaire has a business. Every millionaire has a business because they understand the simple principles. If I have a fucking business as a millionaire, I don't have to lose any of my money. I can put all of my money into my business. I can put my houses, my cars, my vacations, everything I do into my business. I will never live off of my own money. That is principle number one of being a millionaire. You are in here with bullshit, and I hope you bounced. And if you stuck around, I hope you heard it. I will call you on it every time. I'll do a fucking go live together so you can sit on the screen with me and try to tell people that bullshit. It's a lie. Now bounce your busy ass on. People, I don't like doing it, but I'm telling you, I am frustrated to the point of exasperation. I can't sit in front of Dave Ramsey and tell him that this bullshit he's talking about saving 20% is how you fucking die broke. Why would you save 20% of your money if you can invest it? Why would you put it in a savings account at 2% when you can just buy stocks in the stock market that is having an average growth of 10%? It is stupid. That's like putting your money in a hole. No business saves anything. There is zero businesses that have a savings account. If you find me a business with a savings account, I'll find you a business that's going out of business. I'll tell you right now, you don't save money as a business. And the reason you don't save money is because money gets less value over time. You have to invest, you have to acquire, you have to grow. If you do not have a service or product, you must be invested in something that does. People, when I tell you that this is not just something I'm talking about, it's something I'm doing. It's not something you do overnight. But I'm telling you right now, if you're sitting on a house that's paid off and you have yourself $4,000 to $5,000 of disposable income, we need to start your business. We need to get your money in the right place so that you are growing wealth, so that you can start to live your life with who you want to be with, where you want to be, when you want to be. Stop having people tell us, oh, you need to go into a mutual fund. Now, here's the thing, ZZ. Now, if ZZ had been real, if ZZ had been about money, if ZZ had been about what he was talking about, then he would have stuck around. He or she, whoever it was, they would have stuck around to give some advice to hold up their position. It's crap. You save yourself dead, people. It is impossible to save yourself rich. That is the first philosophy of wealth, is you cannot save yourself rich. I've been an entrepreneur for most of my time. My business lost early on, so I still invest. I have my business. All right, so you can have that, but you don't have that by saving money. How much money has your business saved, ZZ? Go ahead and drop a zero, ZZ. It hasn't saved anything, because in order for you to run and grow a business, you have to invest. Now, both are doing well because you invested. Don't come in here telling the people in this chat they need to do some bullshit like save 20% of their money. They don't. And you don't have to start a business. You can start a business whose sole responsibility is acquiring stocks. I got one. I have an LLC, and all I do is put my personal money into my LLC and buy stocks. That is all my business does. My business doesn't provide services. My business doesn't have a product. It buys stocks. It uses margins to buy more stocks. And then it leverages that stock to use cash to buy homes. That is the type of structure that you want to have for a business. Your business is not saving 90%. You're telling me 90% of the money that your business brings in, you put into the business savings account. Your business is about to go under. It's bullshit. 90% of what? What does your business do? Millionaires save money and invest. Millionaires do not save money. Wealth is passive income versus expense. Dude, what are you trying to type out of some book you got sitting somewhere? Millionaires do not save money, they invest money. Millionaires will tell you the worst thing they can do is have money sitting by doing nothing. Nobody needs to fucking listen to me. Look it up yourself. Because someone does things different from you does not mean they're wrong. And you're right. You're having a full-fledged tantrum. Rain, here's what the problem is, Rain. Someone is in here telling people bullshit. That's my problem. I'm not saying doing different. I'm telling you, you flat out lying. I'm telling you that it is bullshit that he's saying. You don't save 20% of your money to get rich. You cannot save yourself rich. You can't. If you're rich and you're saving 20% of your money, you're just saving more of your money. Tell me, at what income level can you get taxed at 20%, so you're bringing 80% of your money home, you're living off of 50% of it, and then you're saving 20%? At what income level is 20% of your taxed income going to save you at 2%, is going to grow your money? That's how most people do it. If you save $2,000 a month versus BS car payments, you'll be able to retire early. Again, this is the same shit that I just started about. Clearly you weren't here at the beginning of the talk. The whole point is Dave Ramsey is selling this fucking philosophy. Dave Ramsey is the one who's telling everybody, save your money, invest in mutual funds, and die before your money runs out. If you don't own anything, you don't have anything. You have to invest. It is about ownership. And it's not about carrying that ownership on your back. It's about it being in your business so it can be a legacy and carry on for years. So what I'm trying to tell you, if you're a millionaire, ZZ, if you're a millionaire and you're following Dave Ramsey, stop. Start following me. Send me an email and watch me exponentially increase the rate of your return. Watch me change your freaking life. Watch me show you something that is going to make you question why you have ever did anything different, ZZ. I'm telling you, my email is available. I'll give it to you right now, bnv.financefixers@gmail.com. Email me and I will sit down and I will show you how you can stop doing this nonsense, because if you're saving 90% of your money and you own a business, you're living backwards. You should be done. If 90% of your returns are going into savings, you should be done. Most importantly, you won't live paycheck to paycheck. You quit your job at financial freedom. Financial freedom, wealth freedom, this is what I'm talking about. I hear you, ZZ. I'm gonna stop arguing with you because I can see at this point that what you're saying, Rain is saying, he has not disrespected you. Not you have yelled, cursed, ghosted, disrespected another man. Rain, I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm fired up right now, Rain. All right? I don't care if you follow me or not. Rain, that's the whole point. Like, show me different, show me better. I can show you. Rich says, is there any books on making wealth you would recommend, Oloropo? If there are any books on making wealth, Warren Buffett. Anything written by Warren Buffett. Anything written by Warren Buffett. Anything. Guarantee you to change your life. Warren Buffett started a company in 1956. When Warren Buffett started his company in 1956, he used $100 of his own money. And then the rest of it, he had $110,000 to start with. The rest of the money came from friends and family. He did not take anything over 6%, Rain. Until he made a 6% return for his investors, he didn't take anything. Everything after 6%, he took 25%. Dave Ramsey is worth $100 million. Warren Buffett is worth $158 billion. I'm telling you about growing wealth. I'm not trying to tell you how to die broke. I'm not ignorant. I'm telling you, I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about a mindset change. I'm talking about a way of looking at life, of doing more than just dying, just trying to get to the finish line. I'm talking about being able to move forward, Rain. This is what I'm talking about, ZZ. Warren Buffett says you save and invest in S&P unless you're an expert, since most stocks underperform index. Most stocks do underperform index, which is why you invest in stocks that perform according to the index. It's a simple search. Warren Buffett wrote that book long before there was ChatGPT. You can do a simple search on ChatGPT, which I've already done, and it'll give you the top 20 stocks that over the last 25 years have had a 10% return, and do not show me any stocks that was created less than 25 years ago that have shown a consistent return. And then you can get 10 shares. Matter of fact, you can get 20 shares of these top 20 stocks for under $40,000. What are we talking about? And you're telling me to put it in the savings? And you got $2,000 a month to sit aside? You can use $2,000 to open a margins account, which means if you use $2,000 to open it, $1,000 of that is going to go directly towards you being able to get more. Warren Buffett made his money off of insurance float, which means Warren Buffett bought up companies that sold insurance. Read his life story. Look at what he did. I'm unhinged right now because you're in here, Rain, and you're challenging me, and you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. But ZZ started this with, I was 38 and I bought a Porsche. It's still good. ZZ started this. I didn't start the flex. I started with motivation. It's what I do all the time. I motivate and I encourage. I tell people, hey, find out what you're doing. I don't even tell people do what I'm saying do. I don't say try to be me. For the most part, when I have conversations, I say do your research. That's what this whole talk has been about. Whole talk has been about stop following people who don't answer questions. You have to ask questions. Why don't y'all ask some questions? Why don't you go back up in the chat, Rain? Why don't you go back up in the chat, ZZ, and start asking some questions? Ask some questions of the people in the chat. Take a look at the page. I talk about positivity. I talk about doing things, but I also talk about doing them correctly. You challenged me when you typed in all caps, Rain. That's how you yell on a keyboard. You don't think I know that? This is what your last message sounds like, Rain, when I read it. When did I challenge you? I spoke on your behavior, not your advice. That's what it sounds like when you tap in all caps, Rain. If you don't want me to think that you're not being hostile towards me, stop typing in all caps. Come on, and I'm not even offended for real. I'm just saying it's different. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All caps is yelling, Rain. That's how you yell on a keyboard. Everybody knows that. I didn't start with that. You said if you save, you're waiting until you die, and that's not true. It's saving in your 20s and 30s, etc., but pretending that building a retirement over time isn't how it's done. I'm telling you that I'm talking about a different principle, ZZ. I'm telling you, haven't you been yelling at ZZ? Listen, ZZ, what I'm talking about, and I understand you came in late. I'll rehash for you guys. I'll rehash what I'm talking about. From the beginning, guys, and for those of you who were here, I'm sorry that I'm having to rehash I'm not sorry I'm having to rehash. It's good to recap. The conversation is about listening to people who try to sell you things that they don't believe in, lifestyles they don't live. Specifically, the conversation was about Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey has developed his whole business and everything that he does based on the fact that this is how you get out of debt, right? So when Dave Ramsey said, hey, this is how you get out of debt, is by managing your debt, paying your debt down, then moving money to the side, pay for everything in cash, and then save money. He gave an elderly woman who's 71 years old, husband still alive, both of them together have about $4,000 a month in income, and they own a house, $250,000, just about free and clear, and they owe about $11,000 on a car. Rain is still yelling at me on the keyboard. So now, so stop yelling at me on the keyboard, Rain, if yelling is not challenging. So he speaks to this lady and he tells her, oh, you need to sell your house, you need to buy a condo for $150,000, and literally his words to her, hope it makes you to the end. That was his advice to her. Sell what you have, guys. Don't let nobody sneak up on me. People out here walking. Good morning, how you doing? So he tells this woman, sell what you have. He famously tells people, do not invest. He famously tells people, do not get a trust unless you're worth over $1 million. He famously says, don't do things that I do because I'm rich. All you're trying to do is make it to the end. You're just trying to die and not owe people money. That's his advice, and I've watched him give it over and over. But he's sitting around, he has a company that he's built. He's sitting around, he has money that he has invested, and he's like, invest in mutual funds. Everyone keeps saying, don't buy individual stocks. Oh, don't buy individual stocks. Why not? What do you think a mutual fund is doing? If I invest into a mutual fund, the investment into a mutual fund is for that mutual fund to invest into stocks, to invest in the companies, publicly or privately held. That's what it's doing. So what I'm saying is we have to be able to follow something. We have to know what we're talking about. So when ZZ came in and ZZ started saying, invest in mutual funds and save 20% of your money, it doesn't make sense. A savings account at most is going to give you 3% back. Why would you invest in a savings account? When there are consistent performers, hundreds of consistent performers on the stock market, that stocks are available at $47. Even index funds. I apologize because I took that as mutual funds, ZZ. I'll take that. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about specifically is I'm talking about individual securities. And literally, there is a way to write it up so that you can create one and you can bring on your own investors. You can have people invest in the company that you create. You could create a LLC that allows for you to bring on investors and at different rates. They just have to be either accredited or sophisticated. Non-accredited investors. And it's legal up under the SEC as long as you lock your business as private. They're privately held banks. What I'm saying to you is this philosophy of save 20% is antiquated. We're in a new place. We're in a new place in the world. And what I started with is we're following a philosophy of people who don't do the same thing. This philosophy that people have of, hey, you must pay off all of your debt. You must not pay, you have to pay off your debt, because if you don't, it's going to be a challenge for you. It's going to create problems for you. It's going to impact your credit score, and now you're going to have difficulty borrowing money. And then at the same time, they're telling you, don't borrow money. Well, the only reason to pay off my debt is to improve my credit score so I don't have to borrow money. Otherwise, I'm living with cash out of pocket. If I don't have a way for my cash to make more cash, then all I have is me exchanging my time for money. And so if all I do is exchange my time for money and invest in things that when I stop exchanging my time, I'm going to start using that money, that's just a highfalutin savings account. A 401k is good, but really it's just a it's just a highbrow savings account, because the intent is I stop working and then I live off of it. 7 to 12% within your index funds. Beautiful. I'll take that, ZZ. What I'm saying is we have to stop. We have to stop with the premise of you can save yourself rich. Saving is for spending. I'm saying we change the philosophy. You run your life the same way you run your business, ZZ. If you put everything in your business's name, it's a write-off. Your Porsche, your house, your vacations, everything, it's a write-off. Every time you pay your mortgage, you pay the company that you own. You rent your house from yourself. And so when you pay the company that you own to rent your own house, you're paying yourself. You're paying it into the future. And then when you leverage your stock to buy another house for cash, and then you take out a loan on that to invest in more stocks, you're paying into your future. This is how you grow wealth. We don't grow wealth through a savings account. You're not going to save yourself rich. Your 401k is not going to make you rich. The money that you move over with the limitations, what is it now? The new limitations are about $8,000 now. Maybe $10,000 if they did an increase. Oh, you can move $10,000 into your 401k. But that 401k is managed by somebody else. And so if you're putting money into a 401k that's managed by somebody else, trust me, they're making money. They're investing your money. 80% of people live paycheck to paycheck. Retirement isn't even a concern. Exactly. And this is why we have to start living our life as a business, because it doesn't matter. You said the first part correctly, ZZ. We have to live within our means. Once we live within our means, those 80% of people can start to take the money that they have and invest it and watch it grow exponentially. That's what compounding interest is. Saving is for spending. Your opinion and the way you do things. He saves. He has a different approach. He dies, not give you the right to be disrespectful. Rain, you're the only one still yelling here, okay? And saving is for spending isn't an opinion, it's a fact. You save money to spend it. You invest money to grow it. Saving is for spending it, even if you're saving it to spend on an investment. That is the crux of what saving is, Rain. Come on. People spend over $1,000 on cars all the time. Put that in the index fund. We're on the same page, ZZ. Me and you are on the same page. But the problem is that so many people are under the impression they can save themselves rich. So many people are selling programs that are telling them, hey, here's how you get to death, versus telling them, here is how you build wealth. Because we have children, because we have grandchildren, because we have a future, because we want a legacy, because I don't want my children to start where I started. And it's not about, hey, go to school, get a good degree and get a good job and you'll be okay. It's not about that, because we see too many kids walk out of school with $150,000 worth of debt and can't find a job, and mad because they went to school for business and they can't get a job as a manager because they have no experience in the field that they're going into. It's not opinion, Rain. It's facts. Those are numbers. Rain, tell me in what case a savings account is not for you to spend later. Give me one situation where you save money for the purposes of not spending it. Just one, Rain. Just one. Tell me one way where you're saving money to not spend it later. I'll wait, Rain. I'll be quiet. Rain, tell me one situation. I don't care if ZZ is your husband. I don't care what it is. You can keep saying that that's my opinion, whatever you want to do. Tell me one way. Money sitting, investing is money growing over time. You said it, Most Blunt. What I want to know, Rain, I'm going to stop talking. Tell me one situation where saving money is not for you to spend it later. I said you have your own opinion and he has his. I get it. That's what you're saying. I'm telling you that saving money is for spending. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. And he doesn't have a different opinion on it. ZZ hasn't said anything different about saving money. He didn't say that saving money was for it to grow. He said you save 20% of your money to go towards retirement, which means you're going to spend it in your retirement. You don't know either one of us, Rain. I am asking you a simple question, Rain, and this can get you a tremendous amount of validity to go here, Rain. Right? ZZ says I'm using the two interchangeable. Save, be able to afford 3 to 6 months. Right, you're saving to spend it in an emergency. Right, ZZ? So you're saving it, right? I would only hold 3 to 6 months of cash. Right, you're saving it so you can spend it in an emergency. Saving is for the purposes of spending. That's what saving is for. Rain, please tell me in one situation. Only thing I'm focused on is your disrespectful behavior. Me and ZZ are cool. Me and him are actually having a conversation. And the fact that I'm entertaining you is surprising at this point. What I'm telling you, Rain, is this. Please, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, tell me one situation where saving is not for spending. You still there, Ray? Did I lose you? Did you? I'm asking you, tell me one situation. Haven't backpedaled, I'm very passionate about it. I held my position. I even admitted when I was wrong and said that I said mutual funds when he said index. And me and ZZ are cool right now. We're still talking. I'm asking you a question, Rain. I'm asking you, tell me one situation where saving isn't for spending later. Saving and investing are not the same thing. You cannot save yourself rich. If you want to see a better future, you have to invest in it. ZZ invested by creating a business. Okay, fine, the behavior has been corrected at this point. You're still having a problem where you said that I was wrong. You said that saving you said that's my opinion and he has his. Me and him have the same outlook. It's not an opinion. There are points where we both agree. We both agree that saving is not the same as investing. You're the one who are saying something different. So Rain, I'm gonna apologize for your hurt feelings, Rain. I'm gonna take a moment to stop and say, I'm sorry, your feelings are so hurt because you can't hear the advice. And as someone said previously, you don't understand the difference between passion and disrespect. Me and ZZ have had this argument. When I say saving, it's investing because it's default. I believe most people should have as much as they can into index fund. Right, that's investing. That's your belief, ZZ. I'm telling you that investing is the way to grow your money as well. But you also know, whether you say it or not, ZZ, if you're saving money, you're not saving money for it to grow. Like you said, you never save more than 3 to 6 months worth of money. If you save more than 6 months worth of expenses and that account starts to grow, you move that additional funds over to an investment, so it'll grow faster. If you have an account that you save 3 to 6 months of expenses in, and that account gets to 8 months worth of expenses, and it's still growing at about a 2 to 3% rate, you're gonna move it over into something that grows at a 7 to 12% rate. That's just common sense. Guys, I have to call it a day. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't had an opportunity to take a look at my channel, please do. Understand, I believe everything works off of the same thing, and that's going to be working off of discipline. Discipline requires something simple. It's going to require repetition. Repetition is going to be followed by patience, which is going to need consistency. And perseverance is the thing that works on you. And as always, guys, as I said before, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. Amen, guys. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for being here.